It's no surprise that I talk a lot about Nintendo games on this channel. I love and cherish them so much, but recently I've been thinking about the games that I enjoy, more specifically from the Wii U and 3DS era. I've played a lot of games that I would never talk about on this channel, partly because of YouTube, but partly because there isn't a lot to say. Seriously, how much can I really say about many of these games? I'm just not able to make content out of it. Recently though, I've been thinking about the free-to-play games and demos that I had discovered, kind of randomly, honestly. I might make a video about free-to-play games later, but today I want to talk about demos, because let's be honest, they were weird. Okay, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So what are demos? Well, essentially, demos are demonstrations of products to convince people to buy them. Get it? Demos? Demonstrations? Yeah, anyway, lots of companies use this model in several ways. You know those free samples you get at Sam's Club and Costco? Yeah, those are just demonstrations of a product, getting you to buy them at the checkout. Most people just use them to get free food while shopping, which is... I don't disagree with that idea. Video game studios would use the same model to advertise their games, but it's a bit different. Here's how it would usually work. You scroll on the Wii Shop or Nintendo eShop, looking for something new to play, and out of curiosity, you check out the demo section of the respective channel. So you find the best looking game and play the demo. Demos of games are generally small snippets of a game, showcasing the mechanics and maybe a bit of the story. Then the demo ends with the game saying, "You should definitely buy the full game." Now, demos are incredible for so many reasons. For starters, they show off what the game is actually about without being intrusive, allowing the player to fully absorb what the heck they're actually playing. It's also nice to just discover something new. I can't tell you how many times I found a demo for a game and then later bought the full thing because I enjoyed what I played. They're great, and I think more studios should create demos for their games. It's really hard deciding what to buy without them. And for this video, I wanted to talk about some of my favorite demos from Nintendo and independent publishers, and why they mattered so much to me. Now, let's start with the Nintendo Wii, and of course, that means we have to talk about gnomes. Yes, I'm serious. If you've never heard of this game, then clearly you're not alone, because this game is kind of obscure. Or rather, this series is kind of obscure. You see, the Wii had a lot of weird and often terrible WiiWare games. WiiWare games galore on this thing. Developers put their games on the Wii to get their names known, considering that there was a whole section dedicated to WiiWare. Now, among the many really weird WiiWare games on this console were a few hidden gems. One of those was called Too Fast for Gnomes. Too Fast for Gnomes was created by Cubic Games back in 2012. Now, some of you may be thinking, Cubic Games? Why is that name so familiar? Well, Cubic Games have created some of the most well-known indie games on the Nintendo Switch, like Star Trek Legends, Paper.io, and Not Not. Most of their games have varying quality, but some are pretty good. Anyway, Cubic Games created this game about gnomes, which is kind of random. I don't know why you would use gnomes, but yeah. Too Fast for Gnomes is a game that has a similar gameplay loop to Super Mario Run, or like any mobile game that requires you to basically press one button. The premise is very simple. You play as a gnome running to the right and you're trying to save the gnome princess. But there's a catch. You have to collect socks. Why are you collecting socks? I literally don't know. The game never explains this. It just says that you have to. Oh well, time to collect socks. So you're running to the right, collecting these socks, and you have to get to the end of each level. There are several checkpoints found in each level, as well as a big sock that's a different collectible from the normal socks. If you die, you go back to the checkpoint you last died at. It turns out that dying in this game is really easy, because if you run into literally anything, it's game over. This is where the strategy comes into play. You'll have to do certain actions at the right time, like hit the 2 button or press down on the D-pad to use your parachute. I mean, it's not the most complicated thing, but it's interesting. The demo only features these mechanics in a few demonstrative levels, enticing you with the full game immediately afterward. I have to say, these images always make the game look super cool. The ice level with the blue gnome was something that I always wanted to play when I was younger. Funnily enough, Cubic Games re-released this game under the name Geki Yaba Anniversary Edition on the Nintendo Switch. Of course, to live my childhood dream, I had to buy it. It contained all the levels that I saw from the images in the demo. The game is actually much more difficult than the demo makes it seem, but I like it. But did you know that Cubic Games actually made another Wii game? Yep, believe it or not, they actually made 2 games based on garden gnomes. And this one is actually really good too? No way! I can't believe this! This is probably one of my favorite demos of all time. Not just because the game is really fun, but because it's basically just the game. The game is called Gnomes. They aren't too fast anymore, but they're just gnomes. Okay, whatever. Gnomes uses the same art style and amazing and super awesome sucks in a different way. Instead of being a running game, it's more like an arcade fighter. You play as a, I'm sure you can guess, going around collecting, I'm sure you can guess, that give you, I'm sure you could, wait, hold on. They give you powers. That part you probably couldn't have guessed. So these socks give you powers like super speed, invincibility, a freaking rabbit thing that helps you out, and so many more. Basically, you have to jump on other gnomes' heads to get points. Whoever has the most points at the end wins. That's it. This game is super simple and easy to understand. It's a fun party game that lasts for hours, and it's especially fun with friends. I particularly love the demo version because it's literally the game. It's amazing, and it really doesn't force you to buy the rest of it. Well, apart from the fact that they let you play once before resetting, but who cares? Anyway, I think it's a good demo. It's a great showcase of several different parts of the full game. I later played the full game, and it's basically the same thing, but more. Pretty awesome game. Next, let's talk about a game that really doesn't get the recognition it deserves. Art of Balance was created by Shin-En Multimedia in 2010 for the Wii. The game is super easy to play because it revolves around stacking weird shapes. Yeah, that's literally it. The demo gives you a good idea of how to play, with a female voiceover giving you instructions on what to do specifically. The demo only has a few levels showing off what the game is about, including a challenge level where you have to stack shapes to a certain height. It's not a very hard demo, and the levels are all the same, so there's more of a reason to play the full game. The full Wii version seems relatively limited, but I'd recommend getting the Switch version. When I saw it, I knew I had to buy it, and it's actually really fun. There are a whole bunch of multiplayer modes in addition to the single-player campaign with 8 worlds. There's a lot of content to be had here, and it definitely solidifies itself as one of my favorite demos for the Wii. Skipping over the Wii U, because honestly, I never really played demos on the Wii U, let's talk about the 3DS. Oh boy, the 3DS. I had so many demos for this console because I guess I was curious? I don't know. Let's start out with an obscure series that has a few demos. Seriously, I had no idea people didn't know these were games at all. I loved them, and only discovered them because of the demos. Those games were Yokai Watch and Yokai Watch 2. Yokai Watch was a series created by Level 5 in 2013. The whole game revolves around this kid, Nate Adams, who is incredibly average at everything. But he later discovers a watch that lets him see supernatural things. And these things are strange. They can make people feel certain ways, steal stuff from people, and do a bunch of other ridiculous things that just make life more inconvenient. Now, Nate can talk to these creatures and befriend them to fight in battle. Let's start with the Yokai Watch 2 demo because, well, it was the first one I've ever played. Is it weird to start the second game in a series before playing the first one? I I don't know. Basically, you start in Harrisville with Nate's grandma, Jibanyan, and Whisper, and a donut gets stolen from them. The main quest, I guess, basically revolves around finding the donut, discovering a giant yokai named Mega Nyan, fighting him, and learning that he's actually Hover Nyan, and then learning about what happens in the future. It's a pretty simple game and honestly, not a terribly difficult demo, but I clearly enjoyed it so much that I got the full game for my birthday. I still haven't finished it though because, well, level grinding to beat Dame Dead Time was still too annoying for me, I guess. After doing some reminiscing for this video, I'll probably do another playthrough of it. If you guys want me to live stream it, you should let me know. I'd love to showcase one of my favorite 3DS games. The Yokai Watch 1 demo is kind of the same, but in my opinion is a lot better. The demo uses missions similar to the actual game. Pretty much, Nate has to find and defeat 3 yokai for some reason, and you get to walk around the whole of Springdale. It feels much more open this way, and I honestly think it fits better. After you catch them, Nate has to fight Dismeralda. Unlike in the Yokai Watch 2 demo though, I'm 95% sure it's practically impossible to beat Dismeralda. She has some pretty powerful moves that literally can't be countered. I don't even know how much a level grind would help in this case, but whatever. Then she basically advertises the rest of the game. These demos do something that not many demos do, a great job at world building. They establish characters and personalities in a way that both people who knew the show and those who didn't would understand. For instance, Mega Nyan's main personality trait is eating donuts, which is one of the first things that happens in the game. If you've seen the anime or the Yokai Watch movie, you'll immediately recognize the characters and settings, again, showing how good the development is in a single demo. If you've never played these games, I simply can't recommend them enough. There is so much to talk about that most people would simply write off as a rip-off game. Maybe I'll save that for another video. Who knows? Now, Nintendo itself made a lot of demos for their games on their 3DS. That was a great idea. I had so many games on the console because of them, and there are a lot of them. So I'm going to talk about each of them briefly since I don't have a lot to say about them. Tomodachi Life is a great game on the Nintendo Switch, but did you know that it was originally on the 3DS? A lot of people did actually. Again, I could do a whole separate video on Tomodachi Life. Both the Switch and 3DS versions are completely insane, but I'll keep it short. The demo consists of the intro to the game, including the ability to create 5 Miis, and adding the Town Hall and Concert Hall. It's a pretty basic demo that has a good intro to the game. Again, I don't have much to say because you've probably already seen the game, much less played any demos of it. Next up, Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. This is a port of the Wii U version with slightly worse graphics and a mode that allows Poochie to get some action. I already had the version on the Wii U, so I already knew the game was good. The demo has the first and 7th levels of the first world. Not much to say about them other than they're pretty good levels. One thing I will say though is that I wish there was a Poochie level. That's literally half the game. Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. Never forget, Nintendo. Never forget. Another demo that I played was the Hey Pikmin demo, but I honestly don't want to talk about Hey Pikmin right now. I forgot how mediocre this game is until I played the demo again. It strays way too far from the original exploration formula that the GameCube and Wii U once had. A linear Pikmin game is not necessarily most people's idea of fun, and it certainly wasn't one of my ideas either. And finally, one of the better Nintendo demos, I would say, Mario and Luigi Dream Team. This demo has a lot more content in it than the previous ones, having menus where you can experience different parts of the game. There's a segment for the real world, Dream World, 2 different boss fights, and a giant boss. Each segment is taken from the game itself, so players can experience part of it before they actually choose to buy it. I really love this demo because it shows off the creativity Nintendo had for this game. The concept of a dream world and the real world was a cool idea. It certainly made me want to buy the game. I liked it, but never got very far because I couldn't find this one tourist guy. I forgot his name, but it annoyed me that nobody else got stuck where I got stuck. Overall, game demos were among the weirdest parts of Nintendo history. While some were good, others fell short completely. Despite their weirdness, they also had a lot of charm, showcasing some of the highlights in each game. I hope that more developers use demos for their games in the future. They certainly persuade me more than trailers do. And hey, they don't seem like a lot of work. So, I hope you enjoyed the demo version of my YouTube channel. But don't worry, it's not the end. In the retail version, you can watch even more videos about game stuff, so go ahead and buy the rest of the channel. No, seriously. Do it. I'll wait here. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. You're just not gonna buy it? Like, what the heck? I put so much work into this channel and you're just not buying it? Alright, well, I mean, I guess thanks for watching the demo. And, you know, you can come back soon.